Welcome to episode 111 of Curio. This week we're talking about Nickocado Avocado's insane secret body transformation and a fossilized will that could be the proof of ancient civilizations. Still feels weird saying Curio, but I'm sure I'll get used to it.
I was with Basie Josh the other day, and I forgot to tell him.
Well, there's a few people have been asking what's happening because, of course, we uploaded the last of the Curios cast, and then it's taken quite a while to get episode 110, the first episode of Curio, and then this is the second episode of Curio. Taken a while to get these out. So it was all for suspense. We've left you all. It was a master plan all along. Yeah, we knew what we were doing from the very beginning.
Well conceived, and as always.
No George this week. Just the two of us.
Where is he? In an Arctic trawler somewhere? What's he doing? What's he thing?
I just told him he weren't funny enough anymore, and he's not going to be here anymore. No, he's off. Yeah, he's off exploring for icemen and what else lives it? Abominable snowmen and such. Yeah.
I wish that was true. It's like an abominable snowman expedition, yeah.
There must be part of him when he does go to the Arctic, which, if people don't know, George is actually an Arctic explorer now, as much as he relishes like that statement. I wonder if there is a part of him that's like on the lookout for something spooky. Constantly.
Yeah, why not?
Surely.
Yeah, like when you're in the woods, you can't help but live a little bit in the back of your head. Like,
yeah.
I quite enjoy like making myself a bit para. It's quite fun when you know that you're okay.
Yeah.
Like I remember in lockdown, and it was like initial lockdown. It was all a bit like weird, wasn't it? And it was kind of freaky. I remember being like in the flat, and my flatmate must have been in bed or something. It was possible. I was quite high at this point. It was late at night. Probable. And there were like foxes outside fighting. But in my head, initially you're like, when you hear a fox sound, it's a horrible noise, isn't it? Like that.
Yeah.
The fox fighting.
Mad.
Takes you a second to go, oh yeah, that's foxes fighting. But like initially I heard the noise, you're like, whoa, and then I did that. Oh, that's foxes fighting. But then I revisited no, it's zombies. It's like, this is what it would feel like, really. It felt like, when you're in a film and like you're safe in the flat, but they're out there.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed a bit of that.
Yeah, I sometimes do this thing where just imagining a scary, the classic as you're going up the stairs, thinking, what if something was chasing me right now? Like, what if something's behind me? And I will sometimes, when I'm going to the bathroom and it's dark, it's nighttime, I won't switch on the lights because I hate it when it's too bright and then it's dark. So I'll be in the bathroom, it's dark, I'm washing my hands, and I look at myself in the mirror and I just think to myself, imagine if there was like a demon face that came out of my face, or what if there's something behind me? Yeah. And when I lived at home, we had the bathroom mirror, and then behind was like another mirror, like a cabinet. It was like a bathroom cabinet with a mirrored door. So you could see like a mirror in a mirror, and I always used to think like, what if a face just like came out? And I know it's not gonna, and I'm purposely doing it to scare myself, and I don't know why.
There's something freaky about mirrors in the dark. Like, I don't like it. There's like mirror in the bedroom when you switch the lights off, like if it's like visible to me from bed, nah. There's many times where it's be like, no, that mirror ain't staying there, like we have to turn that around, or I'm putting something over that, or I'm not a fan of mirrors in the bedroom. Even though I'm not like generally, I don't mind the dark, but mirror in the dark.
I've never had one where it's looking at me while I'm like, if you can see it from your sleeping position, then maybe that's a bit creepy. Like if you can see yourself, so that every time you opened your eyes, you could see yourself.
Or worse, or I can just see like, even if I can just see the reflection of the room.
Okay.
I feel like I've more chance of seeing a demon in the mirror than I have of seeing a demon in real life, maybe. Yeah. And like, as long as you don't see a demon, who cares? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, if you had like a mirror, and in the mirror you can see like the half open wardrobe or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that.
All right, so we've got a couple weird news stories. My weird news story is actually emerging as we speak. It's a constantly developing story, so it'll probably be already out of date by the time this comes out. But do you know who Nickocado Avocado is?
No, but I'd like to.
Perfect. So, Nickocado Avocado is a YouTuber. He's been uploading videos for 8 years, and he does mukbang videos. You're familiar with mukbang videos?
It sounds like I should be, but enlighten me.
Mukbang videos are just videos of people eating food. So there's lots of different like types. Some of it is just people literally just eating their food, talking to the camera, or sometimes no talking, and it's kind of like an ASMR vibe type thing. His videos are like gorge fests of just him just shoving huge amounts of food into his face. He's not like one of those challenge eaters though. He's literally just a weird kind of personality, very over the top, excitable, camp, and kind of like gives me that same vibe that like those weird children's videos that were coming out like years ago, where it's like people talking as if they're aimed at kids in like this weird like presentery kind of voice.
Oh yeah.
But he's not like he's not doing. He's just a weird like off-putting kind of character.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna show you first how. Brakes. I literally was like, I'm gonna have a nice positive video. I'm gonna be like all nice and polite. And fuck. Jeepers.
And he will just talk to the camera, say some weird stuff, and eat food. And when he started uploading videos, he was a skinny guy. Like he was just a healthy weight, kind of normal person. And like if you go on his channel and you filter by like the oldest, you'll see he's just a average weight, a healthy kind of guy who's eating like a load of food. And then
can I look him up while we're chatting? What's his name?
Yeah, so if you go, just go on YouTube, type on Nickocado Avocado, go on his channel. He over the 8 years just put on more and more weight.
Yeah,
to the point where
I do know this guy.
Yeah, you recognize him. So he was getting big. Like he got to around 410, 420 pounds, which is 180, 190 kilos, about 30 stone. So he was a big guy. He was, there were other YouTubers making videos saying, this guy's getting really unhealthy. He was doing sort of podcasts and interview with other people, and they were saying, you need to lose the weight. And he would always say the same thing. He's like, no, it's healthy. He goes, I'll do a body transformation one day. He's like, one day I'll do a body transformation. And he's like, when I'm 30, I'll do it. And don't you tell me what's healthy. I'm happy in my body, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he kind of like always played it off.
It's really strange, by the way. When you Google him, I don't know if this happens with everyone. It comes up with, like a picture of him, a couple of different pictures, sort of like put together in a little grid, a link to one of his YouTube videos, and then it's got age, 32 years, 19th of May 1992, height, 1.83 meters. Like, why are they the stats you get? Age, height. This is
I don't know. I think
information that is important.
I think with a lot of celebrities, they are the typical things that people. Yeah,
does it do that with everyone? I'm going to look. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. I get age and I get spouse.
Okay, but not his height.
Strange, isn't it? Tom McLeod.
Nothing.
Damn.
I think there's a few Tom McLeods.
There are a couple about, but I didn't get that sort of instant. You must have to be a full-on celebrity to get that kind of Google generated stat.
Oh,
bit
actually,
at the top.
If you Google Tom McLeod, the fourth one is my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So anyway, Nickocado.
Yep.
He
avocado.
put on all this weight, and then out of nowhere, a month ago, uploaded a video called 2 Steps Ahead, and he is now skinny. Like skinnier than he was the first time around, like when he first started videos. He has lost, must be like 250 pounds, like 100 kilos. Like he has lost a ton of weight. But what's crazy is that he was uploading videos literally like a month or two ago, massive. And all of a sudden just uploaded this video where he's skinny again. And in the video, he sort of revealed, and he did it in a very odd way. Like it was like he was out of character. His whole persona that he's been building up as this like very excitable and like kind of silly guy was like gone. He was like very serious, and he's talking in like a hushed voice. He's like, I tricked you all. and
Today I woke up from a very long dream, and I also woke up having lost 250 pounds off of my body. Yet just yesterday, people were calling me fat and sick and boring and irrelevant.
Basically, he recorded like 2 years worth of content all in one go. Like he just must have been filming videos one after another, and then like dripped these videos out over 2 years while he was losing all of the weight. Yeah. So all the videos that we've been watching, he's been in these videos saying, oh, you know, it's April 2023, but he actually filmed that back in like 2021.
Huh? That's clever shit.
And and then he's been losing all of this weight. He shaved his head as well. And I think for one reason it's so that he wouldn't be recognized in public as easily, but also it's like more of a dramatic
transformation
reveal. Yeah. And it's like, and it's insane. Like the video has got 48 million views. And
it's
his
also
videos
pretty strong to like, because I guess when he started filming all these videos, he wasn't that well known, or did he get to a point where he was quite well known and went, right, I'm going to make 2 years of footage now? Do you know what I mean? Or was it like...
Yeah, so he's been making videos since, what's 8 years ago? 2018, is that? No, 16. Yes, his first mukbang video was a mac and cheese video, and that was October 2016. So he's been making videos for a long time.
Right.
And then I don't know if he already had a bit of a following before that and has like deleted the videos. I saw clips of him playing the violin, and he's a very, very talented violin player. And I don't know if he had a bit of a following because of that beforehand and then transitioned into the mukbang stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But because I knew of him before this sort of body transformation thing, and I saw videos of his and I thought, this isn't my content. Like, this is weird. I don't like it.
I think I did the same. I stumbled across it and was like, not for me.
I hate the sound of that chewing, and that's what most of the video is him just chewing, and he purposely chews with his mouth open. He's purposely really messy. He purposely eats food that looks disgusting. Like, he'll just get a big, huge tray of like spaghetti and then mix like those Takis, like those little crisp things in them, and like blue stuff. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's just gross. But now it's interesting because this whole thing was like a whole planned out thing. And
that's crazy.
I wrote when he uploaded the video, I wrote it down and thought, we should talk about this on Curio. Like, this is a good, just as like a 10-minute kind of discussion. Like, we could all like talk it and be like, that's something crazy. And then just before we started recording, I was just wanting to get some like more notes and like get like the dates of the videos and stuff. And I went on his channel, and the latest video was that one, the 2 Steps Ahead. And then I literally like refreshed the page, and it said 1 minute ago, He'd uploaded a new video. Like, I was on his channel as he uploaded another video, and I thought, oh,
did you comment first?
Breaking news. I opened the video. It said uploaded 1 minute ago, and I looked, and there was already like hundreds of comments.
Oh wow!
As of recording, it is 1 hour ago, and he's got, let me refresh, 19,000 views. So he's doing well.
Yeah.
And this one is how I fooled the internet, and he goes into a bit more detail about it. And he actually had this whole thing planned out of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get loads of followers. I'm going to get really fat, and that's going to be like my whole character. And then I'm just going to lose the weight and just mind fuck everybody. He had this whole plan like years and years and years ago. And he says in the thing, he's actually like a trained actor. He went to like acting school. He's like well familiar with like, he's got to be the best method actor we've ever seen like, in this generation. Yeah. It's absolutely insane.
That is insane.
Yeah. And then, if I show you this before and after.
So why is there loads of things coming up saying like, you know, weight loss hoax and that? Like, oh, because the hoax was that it was all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So he did at some point go, I've lost the weight, and it's been like really quick. And then he said, no, that was all bollocks.
Well, people were wondering when he uploaded this video of him being skinny, people were wondering if that video was recorded in the past. So did he like record a video back in 2016 or 17 when he was skinny and be like, haha, I've lost all the weight, then get really fat and then just upload a video? Because it's crazy. He was uploading videos on TikTok and Instagram literally like a couple days before he did this video of him skinny. So people weren't sure which way round was like the real way round.
Yeah.
Like, what is the order of this? But he's uploaded a load of videos since, like on his second channel as well, like talking a bit more in depth about it. And I was quickly listening. Like,
2 years of planning, like
I know,
it's quite amazing. And like how he managed to keep it, like, do you know what I mean? It must have been so tempting. Like 18 months in, you go, oh, fuck it, you know, how much did it reveal?
Yeah, because if you've lost like, say you're 400 pounds and now you've lost 150, you'd be like, this is, but no. It's got to be, I've got to get to a point like now you would look at him and be like, that's a skinny guy. Like you wouldn't, it's not even like he's a bit chubby or he's like a bit bulky or whatever. He has lost like such a huge amount of weight. And then what's crazy,
they stuck to the goal as well, because obviously he's recorded all these videos with the dates. So he's had the date in mind. Yeah.
And then this, another level of like mindfuckery is that he, in his old videos from like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, he's been dropping like little hints as to the fact that this is all an act. Like he and it would be like the odd little sentence here where he's like playing a little game and then he'll be like, this is just acting. Or he'll be like, I'll lose the weight eventually. And he's like, when I'm 30, I'll lose the weight. But like he's said it in a way that's like just played it off. Like you wouldn't take notice of it. You'd be like, oh yeah, of course he, you know, that's what a lot of people who are maybe like not happy with their body, they'll be like, I'll go on a diet soon. Like I'll get myself under control. But he was genuinely just like, haha, I will. And he did. He knew the whole time.
So did he put the weight on knowing he was going to do this as well? Is that what you're saying now? Like it was all.
Yeah. He was the whole time just like, which is not a great. I don't know if it's a great life decision. Like it probably impacts your health quite a bit.
Yeah, it must. Yeah, long term.
But then I guess like he got so successful from it that like does that outweigh the weight? Like if you are going to be super unhealthy,
pun intended, not really a pun.
It wasn't, but as I said, that was a good pun. Is it worth it? Like if you his videos. So that video got 48 million views and all of the rest get like in the 20s. Like all of his most recent videos, maybe not all in the 20s. They kind of range from like a bad video gets like 2.5 million and the good ones get like 20.
Wow.
Which is a lot of fucking money. And
that's pretty crazy. I was reading a little bit there. It's like, he was actively deceiving his followers in a supposed social experiment in which he monitored his viewers like ants on an ant farm. So obviously he's like the whole time reading all these comments which they think are in real time, and yet he's there. Yeah, you're sort of doing what you always kind of wish you would do. You know, he's sort of looking back at the past, in the future, looking at it.
Yes, he's in the past, but they're in the future. And he's watching it from the future almost.
Yeah, but in real time, it's a head fuck.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's like if you were like, you could open a window to like watch yourself from like an outside perspective.
Yeah.
Years ago, but then there's also 20 million people also watching with you and all commenting, and you're like, that was me, but also not, because it'd be like if you were just acting the whole time for like throughout your 20s, and then in your 30s you look back like, that was all an act, that weren't me.
It's crazy.
It's because like his persona is so different as well in these like reveal videos. He's like he's just very like kind of toned down, and he's like, oh yeah, like I'm an actor. And he's like, he says I always had dreams of like being on Broadway, and I always had dreams of being on a big stage. And I think he's genuinely just was like, had a plan the whole time.
I mean, it's a piece of art, really, isn't it? Like, well, I mean, creating YouTube content is art.
Yeah,
it's you're creating content. It's an art form. It's a very interesting. Yeah, like it's one of the first. It's one of, in a long time. You know, when you hear something, you go, "That is an entirely original idea."
Yeah,
like it's nice to hear someone's thought of something that's different. It's a bit mad, but
and even if someone else had thought of it, wouldn't go through with that.
He's done and executed. Yeah, thought of and executed. Yeah,
and I think it also, my perception of this guy flipped like instantly, not just because like oh, I like skinny people or not fat people or whatever, but like the fact that this guy his videos were quite annoying, and which I think is on purpose. He says in this video, and I can't remember exactly how he phrases it, but he's saying, oh, like it, similar to what you just said about him watching the viewers like ants.
Yeah,
it's almost like a experiment on how people will just consume this shit content, because it is just someone that, like, the videos have no like value to them.
Yeah,
they're like the most what's the phrase?
Like another word, like clickbait, like sort of not even clickbait. Nah, like
there's just there's a word people
like reality
use
TV,
like trash content, just like it's just like mind-numbingly shit content that is just like this very unhealthy, very like annoying guy that like has no valuable insight or like original takes, just like gorging himself on his food and being like a bad example for everyone. But now I know that's not him. Like he's probably of the same opinion of me at like, this is shit content. He was just doing it to be like, haha,
see if people would
like,
view it.
Yeah, and they did. Like he got he got hundreds of millions of views over the years. And now he sits back like, you're all idiots. You all fell for it. Yeah. But then are we? But then like he did do it. Like
he did still do it. Yeah, but he did it knowing. Oh yes, it's got all kinds of levels. It is a profound piece of art.
It is, and I don't know if I'm doing it justice, like explaining the
I'm gonna
radical.
have to dive into it. Yeah, I'm going to talk.
Especially like over audio, just like describing these thumbnails, like eating the world's spiciest blue heat Takis fire noodles.
I know what a Taki is now. I've just seen one of his thumbnails and it's awful to look at. But I just realised what a Taki is. You get them in like the corner shops, didn't you? Sometimes, and they're crazy
like
hot.
Yeah, they're like spicy. I don't know if they're all spicy, but like spicy, like tubes of like crisp, like kind of thing. Eating the world's spiciest black bean noodles with hungry fat chick, and it's like, and they're awful. I hate them, and they're like an hour long. People must watch them. They've got 20 million views. And he's got hundreds and hundreds of these videos.
Wow.
But yeah, he played everyone for a fool. Like everyone who watched the videos and enjoyed them are now like, oh man, like he was just acting and he was just. But then, is it? Like, he was.
Yeah. And the fact that he managed to keep it like private. Like no one found out. Like so he kept this quiet from like it was a really close circle.
Yeah, I think so. He in the latest video, the one that came out today, there's a 10-minute montage at the beginning of the video before he comes on, which is basically like a montage of everyone being like, he needs to lose the weight, he's fat, like all these reaction videos being like, this is gross, and then it's interspliced with people's reactions afterwards being like, oh my god, I can't believe this, oh my god, he was faking the whole time, how did he do this? And then also people who were saying, I knew the whole time. Now how like whether they actually did or not, I don't know, but these people are saying he had a plan this whole time and like I knew about it, and it was obvious if you look at his old videos he had a plan. I don't know how many people actually knew, but
no one's made a video beforehand saying this.
No, like no one outed him before.
Yeah.
What was also funny? Do you know the YouTuber Sunny V2?
I think so. Yeah.
The Sunny V2 makes these. They're always like the downfall of this. Yeah. So it'll be like the Mr. Beast member with this one's actually quite good, with basically 0 haters. The rise and fall of this YouTuber, like what happened, well, like this YouTuber fell off.
Yeah. I've seen his thumbnails now, and I've definitely watched a load of these.
Yeah, and like he gets a lot of criticism because like he's basically just all of his videos most of his videos are pointing out like the worst parts of people's careers, or like how this person, sucks now and where all this hate's coming from. So he did a video. Nickocado's new video is honestly just depressing. And the video, I didn't watch all of it, but it was basically, this guy's so unhealthy. He's so, he's ruining his life. You can see in his eyes that he's not enjoying this. You can see in his eyes that he wants to lose the weight, but he can't because, he needs to keep the content coming.
Right.
And he uploaded that the day before.
Hey.
Nickocado uploaded his video saying 2 steps ahead.
Is he getting rinsed then?
Yeah, everyone, you go in the comments, there's like, this never has a YouTube video like aged so poorly so quickly. Like, because Sonny's like, this guy basically was like picking him apart, I think, and saying this guy will never lose the weight. Like he's in too deep. And I don't know if Nickocado did it on purpose, like the next day uploaded the video. Yeah, it might have been the same day, I don't know. But
that's great.
It was real soon.
Yeah.
And then also what's funny is the video is called 2 Steps Ahead, and he's like, I'm always 2 steps ahead. And there was a video from like 2-3 years ago where he says the same line in the exact same voice, but no one knew what it meant at the time. Like he was just talking to the camera, and he said, but just remember, I am always 2 steps ahead.
Some diabolical shit, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, it's mad. And there was so many things that people like. So the reveal video as well. It's just him talking to the camera, but there's like this annoying like humming noise, almost like there's a fan in the background, or like the sort of like electrical static you get from recording equipment. Sometimes it's like a kind of noise. And he says afterwards, "Oh yeah, I added that in on purpose just to give it like a bit more of a creepy vibe." Like everything. He's like, he's down to everything. Fucking
yeah, man.
Yeah. And then he did
some Lex Luthor shit, isn't it? Like you're gonna.
Yeah, and then there's a video on his Instagram here. He's talking about being. He's got like the audio of him talking about being skinny, but while he's still big. I haven't watched the video enough to explain it very well.
Yeah. But just to prove that it really was the plan all along, kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mad. That's kind of it, really.
It's mad. I mean, I should have gone first with mine because mine's not as entertaining. not as forward thinking. Mine looks back.
Okay, there we go.
But could be forward thinking about the past.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, right. I wish George was here for this because he probably knows something about this. If not, he definitely knows something about the wider topic that it kind of is part of. Now I'm going to open because a lot of the times when I do things like this, it turns out it's fake. So, and this looks like one of those things that could easily be fake, but I really looked to try and find that it was fake, and I couldn't find anything thus far. But it's not that old. It's about a year or so ago. The original article. I think 2008 was when it was discovered, right? Yeah, it is 2008. So basically, it was a coal mine in Ukraine. Have you heard about this?
No, I don't think so.
Started with the coal mine.
I know of coal mine. There's been other coal mine related news stories, but I don't think a Ukrainian one.
Okay. Well, hopefully it wasn't this, but I don't think it was this. I don't remember this. It does seem like the sort of thing George would bring up. But and they found. So this is again allegedly, as far as we can tell, this is true. What looks like a fossilized kind of imprint of a chariot wheel.
Okay.
But it's where it is in the coal mine would make it 300 million years old.
Right.
Which is obviously way before we understood there to be wheels.
Yeah, or humans.
Or humans as we know it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let alone wheels. So in terms of how true and verified it is basically some of the dudes that, were just your coal miners down the mine found it, took photos of it, and there's pictures of them alongside it. And then there was testimony from the main guy that found it, and a few workers, a few people that were there witnessed, and the foreman. Maybe this is the foreman kind of guy that reports it. But they were supposedly denied proper access from the mine owner because it was dangerous, and they just didn't want. Supposedly, they just didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want that fucking with their mine. I suppose just I don't care about that. I'm here to make money.
But it wasn't an actual wheel. It was just a imprint of one.
No, and when you see like this for example, this is
tooth.
100 million years old or something.
Okay.
This is a fossilized shark tooth.
It's almost it's turned to stone.
Yeah, that is not tooth anymore. That is stone, and it was an imprint, and then that's kind of what's left. Turned to stone. Yeah, same as dinosaur bones. I always thought they were bone, but no, the bone's long gone. Of course, it's not. You can't have 300 million year old bone.
Yeah,
it's turned to stone. There was a bone was in there once. Stuff's happened. This is one of those really low understanding of science.
Now I'm thinking about it. I've never actually thought about how fossilization works. Does it turn to stone, or does it just hollow out the space so stone forms around it and then stone forms inside it at a different rate? So it's
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, so it's the shape of it, but in a
cast. It's kind of like a cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was it's only kind of recently, it was one of today I learned things. I just thought when you go to the Natural History Museum and it's a bone, then it's a bone, but it's not. It's one of those. It's one of our mates. Is quite a misanthrope.
Okay.
So everything's shit. Fucking. It's fossils. They're just a bunch of shit. There's no fucking fossils. They're just. It's not even real. It's just
what a thing to be cynical about.
Yeah, I know. And you got natural. Talking about the natural history museum. There's a load of old shit in it. It's just a load of cast. It's just cast. It's not real anyway. It's just a load of bollocks. I could have made that. That's the sort of thing you like to say. But then
I could have made that.
But then you're okay. I never realised that. So this is kind of what it is. It's any trace of wheel, long gone.
Yeah.
But it's a solid rock
thing
formed in the sandstone. So this is like one of the reasons why suppose they couldn't get it out. You know, that they tried to hammer it out, but it was like too solid,
mm-hmm.
and it would have, you know, to really get it out, they would have had to fuck with what was essentially the ceiling of this cave. I'll send you a link. You can see a picture in it anyway. It's like above them. It's like above in the layer. When you look at it, it's kind of like it's not hard to believe that it might be fake. You know, that's like it looks like it could be. I mean, you could easily fake images like this. It's very 2008 kind of like digital camera.
Oh, yeah.
And you might question why did they even have a digital camera down the mine with them? But like, you know, why not?
Yeah, why not take a camera?
Take a camera, you know, document your life. I mean, I found it one day and gone, I'm going to bring that back and take a photo of that fucking mad wheel thing.
Time, yeah. Or even just taking it down there for work purposes, right? You might have to take a photo of some machinery that's broken or like...
Yeah, true.
Where the coal is.
Yeah, true. I mean, the reason it says that they didn't... This is in the original... This is in his statement. You know, the wheel was printed on sandstone of the roof. Guys tried to cut away the find with pick hammers and take it out to the surface, but sandstone was so strong, in brackets, firm, I don't know why that needs... that having been afraid to damage a print, they've left it in place. At present, the mine is closed officially since 2009, and access to the object is impossible. The equipment is dismantled, and the given layers are already flooded. So apparently, they've like just come out of that mine anyway, which adds to the like, you know, do I?
Yeah, surely if it was that big of a find, they would go back for it. Like, well, not them, but someone would go back. Right?
Well, what people would say, right? This is what. The like conspiracy based people on the internet would say about this is that the dogma, you know, like, is that the word? You know, like the archaeological, maybe dogma is not the right word, but the archaeological like current understanding, they wouldn't want this to be true. They wouldn't want this to be an old wheel because it fucks with their whole theory. Like the not ancient aliens, like the ancient civilizations guy. You've seen it out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And he's all his whole shtick is that he's controversial and they want to shut him down. Whereas a lot of other people would say, we just think you're wrong. But,
yeah, I don't believe in that. Yeah, because the idea is that like, scientists have come up with this theory that we've only been here for 50,000 years, but there's so much evidence to show otherwise. They just don't look into it. Yeah. But I don't think that's true because it would be more difficult to build a conspiracy with millions of scientists all across the world that not one of them or one group of them would be like, hey, let's look into that.
One of them is Graham Hancock.
Oh, Graham Hancock. the one rebel.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it a little grain of salt. Some of it I do find interesting though, and some of the things, you know, it's one of those things where it's like there probably is some truth somewhere and he's just gone a bit too far with it. The whole thing ends up being discredited. But like,
I like it, and I'd like a lot of it to be true.
Yeah, I like it. It's one of those things, I want to believe it more than perhaps my skeptical mind allows me to. But because the whole it's quite convincing. I think his whole thing, isn't it, that and I have heard other people say this, that like, you know, we were potentially like sent back to the Ice Age by like a great flood, and there were civilizations, and we were just like wiped right out to like Neanderthals and had to start again evolving.
Yep.
And
like, I can see that.
I can see that, yeah. And lots of people talk about like, because and people say that because of you know, most religions have like a flood myth. Christianity has a flood myth. In the Quran, there's a flood.
Probably
myth.
The others as well.
Yeah, probably. I've heard the Quran does, I think, and I don't. Yeah, apparently they all do some form of that, you know, and you know, with storytelling, traditionally it was just that's how you learn things. You know, stories were just told and brought down, and it's like reasonable. Seems like weird that all these cultures would have independently decided to have this kind of flood myth thing, when it's just like maybe that's what happened, and that story's passed down because it kind of happened, and you know, like there was, I don't know.
I definitely think it's possible that like, humanity has been around longer than we've got like the records for, and there was an ice age or a big flood or something that like wiped 99% of the population out, and then humans had to like repopulate the Earth. But I don't believe that like, oh yeah, they were we had advanced civilizations before with like skyscrapers and
driving
big
cars
cities,
around.
and we had batteries and this and that, and then the flood wiped it all out. He's like, no, there would definitely be more evidence around. Like if there was a massive flood that covered the entire Earth now, and we were hit by an asteroid and all the volcanoes went off, there would still be evidence of like the Shard.
Would there though?
And like, yeah.
Would there in I think it's something crazy, like
all those phone and vape shops would still be evidence for them on every high street, every ancient high street.
There's something people say, like there's some fact you can look it up, you know, like how long it would be for if all humanity, you know, died now instantly, how long would it be before all trace of us was gone on the, and it's not long.
That can't be true.
Yeah, I don't know. There's theories, yeah. Like, you probably asked like fucking
don't they
AI.
say fucking
AI
plastic bottles live like 100 million years or something?
Yeah, they do say stuff like that, don't they? Or like, you know, like AirPods are going to be like around for fucking.
Yeah, they literally like never.
We'll be finding them like those little pipes that people find. How long? Yeah,
we'd be finding ancient AirPods if that was true, because they would have invented headphones.
Yeah, yeah. Because headphones are sick.
Exactly.
Depends what you mean by some traces. And will be detectable futurologists visiting our world. In general, most easy to detect signals will be worn down or destroyed within a few centuries, certainly within a millennium. See, someone's
a millennium.
Which is what, 1,000 years?
1,000 years.
Yeah.
Bullshit, man.
There's a
find things from 1,000 years ago.
There's a great book called The World Without Us that covers this exact topic, if you want to know, that will disappear in detail over hundreds, then thousands, etc. years. The book goes into a lot of details, but to be honest, our traces may never be gone. Our existence is now in the geological record. That means that billions of years in the future, before the sun expands and swallows the Earth, future geologists could detect that we were here. Okay. So.
I'm going to buy that book.
But that doesn't mean I find a battery. It's interesting. No. I might read that book. That sounds good.
I might get ChatGPT to summarize the book. Well, there's a whole synopsis here on Wikipedia. Yeah, I saw something recently. It was a YouTube video. Really drew me in. It was like, if we all died, when would the last light turn off? I thought that was interesting. Like how long will like generators keep going and like hydro dams and stuff? Like what will be the last light to turn off? I can't remember what it was.
I was about to say, damn, do you remember the answer? You really teased me there.
Yeah, maybe I'll link the video below for anyone who wants to watch it. But it was...
Gina asked ChatGPT a pretty fucking bleak question the other day. It was like, you know, when are we at the point of like fucked with climate change? And it gave this like quite, you know, tactical answer of like, if this happens and that happens, you know, if we do this, the plans set out at the such and such, then we... maybe 100 years, but like maybe not, you know, we did. Yeah. And then she was like, all right, what if we do nothing?
Yeah. Like,
and it was like,
leave it from now.
Yeah. And it was like 20 years, 20, 30 years maybe.
You reckon?
Yeah. To start, she asked it something like, you know, till we like start seriously noticing, you know, like food shortages, etc. And it was like, 20, 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, that could be the case. Like, I guess,
it's bleak.
Because every year it seems like we get madder and madder like storms and hurricanes in like different parts of the world.
Doesn't seem that hard to believe, does it?
Droughts and flood, like all this like mad weather that I guess all it takes is like 1 or 2 bad years of like some crops not getting.
Sure, already seeing small onions this year. Small onions everywhere.
Oh yeah, I had to chop up 3 onions where I'd only use 1 the other day.
It was a bad year for onions.
Batch of burgers. Yeah, usually I get 1 big onion. I'm like, that's enough chopped up in the meat, but
bad year for onions, mate.
Oh shit!
And I woke up to Gina, like she must have woke up before me, and was like, I woke up to this. I was like, great start to the day. This is Jesus.
Wow. Any more about this wheel? What's the prevailing theories?
The prevailing theories is this is kind of really where it ends, because no one ever got down to the mine to fucking, you know, dig it out. So, I couldn't find anyone that outright was like, this is fake. You know, most of the articles seem pretty like, you know, I found some like, you know, ranging from conspiracy websites to like, most of them are kind of in websites that are adjacent to this ancient archaeological, you know, that ancient civilization guy. sort of around that. And a lot of them go on to talk about ancient tracks, which is then quite a big thing apparently. In various places, you can find these like fossilized ancient tracks that are supposedly hundreds of thousands of years old. That people argue are too big to be horse and cart tracks or any sort of cart tracks. They look like they're made by like wheels that are of a certain diameter. But again, that's just hugely debated. So it goes on to talk about that a fair bit after this, basically, they're saying that these wheels must have had tyres. And it's just, again, supposedly proof, or evidence of humans long before we, generally accept that they were. Yeah. And in one of the debates, like people would, what I saw in a lot of like debates in like comments and stuff, someone would go, say something about a flood and go, no, it's all because of flood. And when I first looked, I was thinking, oh, they're talking about like, what I sort of said about like the flood myth. But no, people are just saying, people are like, it's like, and I looked and read some of the comments and it was like, no, that's just religious people saying, no, there's a flood in the Bible, we were punished. And that stuff was buried or something. Like, yeah. And then lots of people debate, like, what are you fucking about? But yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those like, it's like an interesting conversation to have, but it's almost pointless like trying to debate it because it's one of those things that no one knows.
No one's ever
like,
going to know, yeah.
Why are you going to argue about something from millions of years ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with this guy, like, one guy I saw in particular, like people, like he was like denying the existence of like, I think that I've seen with my own eyes of like, there's a climb somewhere that I've done and it's, I think it's limestone and it's called Crustacean Wall. And because a big chunk of the way up it, there's like fucking mussel shells and you literally, it hurts your hands because they're fucking.
But they're all like fossilized in, like they're not.
Yeah. They're fossilized in halfway up this fucking
like super spiky wall. Yeah.
Cliff. No water around. It's in like the Peak District.
Yeah.
And that was, layers of like coral reef.
Yeah. Okay, that's mad that it's in like the Peak, because I've seen it. If you go down to like Dorset and go to the cliffs there, you can see where like the tectonic plates have like pushed the ground up.
That's it. Yeah.
And the layers of the ground are now vertical. So what was like, this 100 million years, that 100 million years, it's all just visible, and you can like literally see the fossils.
Yeah,
you can literally pick them out of the wall.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're supposed to. But.
No, yeah. You see like signs about it down here, didn't you, that explain all that? But yeah, this is mad, and I think the theory of this is that it would have been glaciers
right, yeah.
that would have brought it in. It's it's risen out of the floor, like you said, same sort of thing, but then glaciered in from somewhere and deposited there because it's like the same rock as somewhere else, which is.
I saw something recently. I think it was either just like a post on Reddit or a tweet, but there's this cave. I don't know where it is, but it's a cave that you can only get to from underwater. So you go, it's like on the coast somewhere, and you've got to swim like 30, 35 meters down, and then there's this cave opening. So then you've obviously got to be all scuba gear and stuff. Yeah. And then you go into this cave tunnel that's filled with water, and you're probably swimming for like 20, 30 minutes before you actually get to like a big air pocket. So you're slowly going up and up and up until you're back at sea level. So you're swimming like, you're ascending by 30 meters, but you're going along like a couple 100 meters or so.
Yeah.
And then you get
thinking about that. That gives me a funny
feeling.
And
then like, there's a picture, there's like a side-on picture that really like demonstrates it well.
Yeah.
And when you get into this like air pocket and people have been there, there's like cave paintings in there, and it's the classic cave paintings of like really crudely drawn like animals and just like handprints, and they've dated it back to tens of thousands of years. And obviously people wouldn't have been able to swim in there all those years ago. It would have just been that like the sea levels were really low at that time. So at that time it would just be a cave you can like walk into. Now it's just been filled up with water, and there must be tons of those kind of things that are like either been covered over by the ground or covered over by just wildlife or the sea that now are just inaccessible. And even this one, the cave is apparently like so dangerous that not many people get to go in there.
Wow, that's cool.
You need like a real good reason to go in there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah, I love stuff like this. And the whole time I was thinking of George, and I was like, should I save it? But I couldn't really be asked to look anything. But like I say, the other stuff I looked up was really bleak, and because I was watching a really bleak film this morning. But
well, we'll ask George's opinion on it.
Definitely have an opinion on it.
We'll give him like 2 minutes to give his opinion on it and tell us what's going on. Not too much history talk.
Yeah, and he'll know something else. He'll know some adjacent stories, won't he? Like, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, can't get into all that though.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cool. I wonder what it is. Like, is it a wheel? I guess. In my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe the air, like the rocks surrounding them are like freaky. 300 million years, but also maybe the wheel could have shown up later. But if it's like a coal mine, obviously it's freshly dug out ground.
There is something about like, I couldn't find it in this article now, but there is something about like the people saying that there's another way that it could have been a 30,000-year-old wheel or whatever, a 10,000-year-old wheel that's been pushed down there. There was some way that was also possible. It doesn't necessarily have to be 300 million years old to be there. It was one sort of theory that it is a real fossilized wheel, but it's not 300 million years old. And there are other people, obviously some people saying, you just made this up. It's a PR stunt. And this is from the actual account from the guy, his eyewitness statement. It's a bit like roughly translated. This finding is not a PR action. In due time, 2008, we as a team of engineers and workers asked the mine director to invite scientists for detailed examination of the object, but the director, following the instructions of the then owner of the mine, prohibited such talks and instead only ordered to accelerate work on passing through this section of lava and on fast charging of the section with mining equipment.
Oh, okay.
That sounds more like just someone with a load of money. Like, I want to. If science comes down here, we have to pause for like.
Yeah, that's
potentially always.
Yeah, like they want to get their coal. Yeah,
this is potentially quite bad, so I'm going to try and be as vague about this as possible.
Okay.
Like people definitely do this kind of shit, of what I just said, because I know someone that was like digging footings, found a massive bone.
Yeah.
Like potentially like dinosaur bone or something or whatever, or like bone shaped thing, and just went, bury that. Concrete over that. Otherwise you have to get like, if you report it, that's your site blocked and archaeologists have to come. And even if it turns out to be nothing, you still end up paused for.
Yeah, like it could just be like an animal bone that's got nothing like significant
but it
about
massive.
it. Yeah.
But now as I'm saying that out loud again, I'm remembering that like for what we just spoke about a second ago of like bones, old bones don't exist. They're fossils. Yeah. But does that mean? But they dig them up and they look like bones. So are they bits of stone that are? I'm going to have to read up about fossils after this.
I think maybe there's just like a big difference between like dinosaurs, which were around like 500 million years ago or whatever, and then humans, which have only been around 50 to 100,000 years. Like maybe it takes 1 million years for the bone to degrade. So yeah, if you dig up a bone, then it could be anywhere from like 1 year to 100,000 years old.
Yeah.
But you're not going to find a bone that's millions of years old because maybe like all that pressure from the rock over time. I don't know. Well,
we've all learned something today, I think.
Probably, yeah. Either you've learnt about fossils or mukbang.
Just what the word mukbang means.
Yeah.
Mukbang, not mukbang. Sorry, it's like
I don't know what.
That's an orgy in the McDonald's.
Mukbang. Yeah. Yeah. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about Nickocado Avocado or this old wheel.
This old wheel.
Is it a wheel? Is it old? Who knows? That was Curio 111.